Like, Doug Ford's paying my bills right now. Yeah. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another Claire's Corner. So happy to be with you today. My name is Claire St. Julie and I'm your host. I'm still figuring this out. Bear with me for a second. I don't know, I just felt called to bring light to the thought that I was having when I was on my way back from my sister's house. And it just makes me think, like, how much of a privilege it is to stress sometimes. Like, how much of a privilege it is to stress in the way that I stress and stress in the way that I know that people stress. Like, I'm a student, but at the end of the day, I still get to come into my beautiful apartment and sleep in my bed comfortably, knowing that I am not financially responsible for my school right now. The government's handling that shit. But, like, you forget sometimes because you get so wrapped up in the chaos of what you're supposed to be doing in this moment and the possibilities of things not happening the way that you want to next, that you can't even see that right now you're exactly where you need to be. And it's crazy to see people who have so little harbor that so easily. Nonetheless, these are the happiest people I've ever seen. Despite their circumstances, they're still just so grateful to be here. They're so grateful to be in this country and to make something for themselves because they're just so certain and so sure that something better, the next thing that comes is gonna be for them. Because that's the only option that they have. They don't only deal with the immediate one in hand, and they still show up with a smile. They wish me a beautiful night. They tell me the most beautiful stories from where they come from. And why, despite all of it, despite how hard it is for them to be here, they're still so incredibly grateful that they could at least try. I thought about a conversation I had with another one of my Uber drivers this summer, and he was just telling me like how Uber has no union here and how hard it is to really get settled, how hard it is to see what's next, how hard it is to really adjust to living here, and how insensitive people can be about it. And I was just like, yeah, that is really sad, because you look in 6 Plus comments and it's a bunch of fucking entitled people. And it's like, it's frustrating. I was learning about this in my classes this last semester, is that these are people, the brain drain is real, y'all. Like, these are people who are engineers, they're doctors, they're tech guys that are coming here and they're driving Uber for 83 cents a kilometer. And it's just like, this is the state of our world, this is our economy, and it's really hard for everybody. But all you can do is do what you can in your control, and that's to appreciate what you do have and then see what you can do with that, and just be hopeful, be sure, be grateful that the future that's coming for you is better than whatever your present moment is that beautiful thing is coming. It's coming and it will come. I've been in much worse off situations in my life, and even last semester when I was poking and pinching at my face because I was so scared of my papers, I still came out really well in the end. And it makes you think sometimes when you laugh, like, what was I so scared of? What was I so stressed about? Regardless, we keep pushing, we keep evolving, and we still make it. We wake up the next day and we do it again. My boyfriend said this one thing to me that really stuck. He was like, regardless, every day you're gonna get out of bed and you're gonna get back into it. And to me, like, when I thought of that, it's just like, it's up to you to choose how you live it. So whatever's going around in your immediate life and your circumstance, whatever is out of your control, leave it out of your control, because it's not up to you to deal with. The things that are in your control, the things that you can do for you to show up for yourself in the day, to make your bed when you get out of it, to feed yourself because your body deserves food and love, to hug yourself because who knows if you're alone all the time, and just because nobody else is there to hug you doesn't mean you can't hug you. Do those things that you need to do for yourself, to love yourself, to hold yourself, to carry yourself through these trying times. And they're trying. They're incredibly trying. There's so many things that are heading towards us right now, whether you're watching this from across the world or you're in the Western world alongside with me. Tariffs are coming, shit's shaking, things are looking kind of gray, and we can't control that, but we can control how we react. And that reaction can either be sitting around talking about how much the world sucks, or we can acknowledge that we don't have the best people leading us right now, but I am going to do what I can do to better myself and my circumstances instead of letting these buffoons ruin my day. I hate letting a man ruin my day. Because there's something worse to me than having just a regular bad day, than having a man make your day bad. Like, I can't hug that. That genuinely infuriates me. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's just where my stance is right now. It's where I'm leveled off. So it's just not allowing people, those external things, to have control over your emotions and how you decide to show up for you. There have been times where I get very depressed in my life, and whether that's been like from a violation of a man or just general insecurity of where I'm at whether that would have been in the past financially or just with my family. It was enough to not let me, I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to do things that I want to do for myself. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to do all this stuff. I just want to rot, literally just rot and doom scroll. And that just seems to be the easiest thing to do because it's within your control, but you're missing out on life because of other people's stupid decisions. We can't allow ourselves to do that anymore. We have to do what we can do in our control. But I say that to say, because I do have a point with this. Like, Doug Ford's paying my bills right now. Get creative. Get fucking creative. Like, there's only this, like, literally, we can't just settle like this based off the state of the world when we are in such a state of privilege. And I'm talking especially, like, here. Like, if you were able to watch this video and you have the time to watch this on an iPhone or even an Android, obviously, if you have the time to watch this on a phone or computer because you have time away from your job, away from whatever you're doing to be able to scroll on social media, you have the privilege to also get outside, touch some fucking grass and love yourself. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if we really do, we do forget our privilege sometimes, and it takes having these conversations with people who aren't from here, who didn't grow up in our world, who have to go through different trials than we have to go to remind ourselves that, like, okay, wait, I actually have a lot of room to do what I want to do to make me happy. I have a lot of room to go figure out what it is that makes me happy. I have a lot of time, more time than I actually thought I do. Even if that time is just an hour in the day, what are you gonna do with that hour? Love it, live it, do something with it. But it's like, that is 100% in your control, baby love. And I just want to express that because I remember feeling so powerless at some point in my life. I remember feeling so incredibly powerless. Like, if this is just the state of my reality, if this is just a stasis, so be it. I guess I'm just meant to suffer. Absolutely not. For my dead body. And it took getting out of that mentality to get to the place that I am now. Literally where exactly I dreamed to be, was believing that there was so much more for me despite everything that's going on around me, despite the people that were approaching me, despite the people that were in my life, despite the circumstance that I was in. It didn't matter. Throughout all of it, regardless, I found a way to stand on my 2 feet because I felt like that was the life that I deserved. And it wasn't until I realized that I deserved it, and didn't matter what kind of bullshit nonsense was going on around me, did I finally feel comfortable to live within it, to harness it, to accept it, because it was always there to be mine. I just had to believe that it was, instead of getting so caught up in my immediate life that was not satisfying to me. I had to see what was satisfying to me, and I had to look at the ways that I was able to achieve that and go do it, because you can. Because you can. I feel like we have so many things taking up our time right now, and it's not that you can't enjoy social media, it's not that you can't enjoy a good little doom scroll, but it's also like, how long are you gonna do that before you take responsibility for your own life, to go for the things that you really love to do? It took me so long to actually sit in front of this camera and talk. This is all I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And then you realize, like, who am I living it for? What's stopping me from doing it? Because I have people who are running my country who don't actually give a shit about me. So why should I be giving a shit about all these little complicated things that don't even exist? These possibilities that are going to hurt me, that aren't even in my reality, when I can just think about how good things will be once I actually finally step into that place that I'm meant to. You know? It kind of seems simple when you just break it down a little bit. When you just allow yourself to be. Gave me a lot of perspective, reminding me where I am in my life, how lucky I am to be here. It doesn't matter, you don't have to be exactly where you want to be, but it starts with being grateful for where you are, so you can acknowledge, at least that's the first step to the greatness that's coming towards you, instead of thinking that your life is nothing but a downward spiral. Because if that's where your head's at, that's exactly what you're going to see. That's exactly what's going to be, and that's exactly what your reality is. So allow yourself to enjoy the finer things by taking the time to vision what those finer things are, instead of getting so caught up in the misfortunes of your everyday and everything else that could piss you off. Let yourself feel, obviously, but don't let yourself always just feel anger, animosity, and hatred for the world around you. Search for the beauty. Find it outside of you and within you. And then things can really start working for you, is my point. We don't have to live a miserable life. You don't have to be miserable. I learned after a really long time that I didn't have to be miserable. And once I learned that, I stopped accepting a lot of bullshit. I stopped accepting limitations from people. I stopped accepting bad behavior. I stopped accepting bullshit. You know what I mean? There were people in my life when I was trying to find a place. At some point, me and my roommates were going to be homeless. Like, I was leaving my residence and I was like, I don't have a place to live in the city. It's impossible to find housing there. And once I got out of that framework, I actually ended up exactly where I wanted to be. Were there people talking in my ear telling me that I had to lower my standards? Yes. Did I listen? Absolutely not. Because I knew what I deserved and I knew that it was coming, and I kept that faith. And it came. By the grace of God, literally right as I was moving out of my place. On the verge of tears, trying to figure out where I was going to live. It came. And I'm not special. I just believed. Sometimes, not sometimes. That's literally all it takes. So yeah, that's my little tidbit. That's my little spiel for today. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the world, in the corner of my bedroom, of my corner apartment, in my little corner of the city, in another Claire's corner. Do you see? Do you get like the thing? That's what I've been doing. That's what I'm like, that was the plan. That was the play of the words. But I'm happy to be here with you. And thank you for sticking around with me while I give my little 2 cents in perspective on our state of the world. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever that might be. I wish you all the well, all the best. I wish you well and all the best. And I hope you can take these thoughts with you wherever you go. And know that from my little corner of the world, I'm sending you much love in your journey as you figure it out and sort out all of it. Enjoy it. Love it. I love you. Goodbye.